Okay. All right, students. So right now, what we are going to begin working on is our final exam painting. And for those of you that are doing the portrait with me, welcome. Okay. Some of you are choosing to do this portrait because I am showing you a different painting technique called pastel painting, and that is using oil paint and terpenoid odorless paint thinner. And you have to make sure that you have this at home to use. It comes in smaller jars than this, excuse me, but it is odorless, water clear, and you're going to use it as a thinner for your oil paints. Not only that, you're going to use it so that you can mix or clean your brushes as well. So at this point, you have chosen from last week, you've gotten your cardboard ready. Mine is already cut in the rectangle. You have also printed out your reference photo. I have printed mine out in black and white, and I have printed it off in color. Also, it depends on your printer. You are going to change on your phone this photo to a color app, okay, where you're going to have the light of the person, this lady, the choice of color you choose for your painting, whether that be blue, turquoise, or green, or yellow, okay, because we're going to work with mood lights using color, and I put several examples already on Google Classroom for you to see that. But for this beginning process, I always like to use a black and white photo, okay, because then I can see more line definition in the photo for sketching. So as you can see in the instructions on in the middle of your screen, if you are not doing the mood portrait painting with us, you need to provide today your two thumbnail sketches of the final exam painting that you're going to do. And again, on Google Classroom, you will find more instructions about that. We already went through it last week, okay? But the written instructions are in Google Classroom. And then number two, you're going to write an explanation of your concept for your painting. What is going on? What are you trying to say? What would you like the viewer to see? What story is it telling? How are you going to execute the painting as far as technique? What style are you going to use? What genre are you going to use? Expressionistic, neo-expressionism, realism, surrealism. Let me know everything about your painting that you are doing. If you're doing the mood painting with us, you're just going to simply do number two as well, letting me know why you chose that color and what mood you are trying to accomplish by using that backdrop mood light color, okay? Then number three, you're going to turn in both a 1 and 2 to me today in Google Classroom for your part of your weekly grade. Okay, we need that. Okay, and then the next class meet when we come on Friday, you're going to begin the painting. So today it's all about getting this here some backlight color. I'm choosing my turquoise because I really like phthalo turquoise. And I already have my big brush ready. Okay. And I have my terpenoid poured in a container. Okay. We're going to fill up the space that you want to have every part with the portrait. Okay. Um, and then we'll let it dry and soak into the cardboard. And it literally will take less than 15 minutes for the oils to soak through the cardboard, and if you or the paint to soak through the cardboard to dry, because the cardboard is more, what's the word we want to use, porous, okay, and will dry fast. Then we will spend the rest of the class period sketching out our old lady here. I love her expression. I love the mood, the dark against the light, which and the shadow. And earlier in the year, we did light and shadow painting, and it started with a C. Do anybody in class know what is the defined word for light and shadow, painting in light and shadow? Chiaroscuro. Excellent job. It is. It's chiaroscuro, and some people pronounce it chiaroscuro. I say chiaroscuro as well. So that is the defined word, and pay attention to that word because it will probably show up if we have to do a written final exam. It might just show up on that, okay? But I'm hoping we can use our painting as our final exam. So I like to wet my brush, and what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm literally going to not put my paint in a tube or a container. I'm just going to scribble some paint here on my cardboard and just paint straight from there. If you are mixing your colors, then of course you would have to take the paints and mix them together first on a palette before you actually lay it on your canvas. And you can do that and not do that. So I have two different turquoise I'm going to use. I have a phthalo turquoise, which is going to give me that very dark extra shadow. And then I have here a brighter regular turquoise that I'm going to put as well in there. And that's going to give me the value, the shade, okay, we know what value is, the shade of turquoise that I want to have. And I'm dipping now my brush in my paint thinner. Oh, that's a beautiful color, isn't it? As I am painting. And for this portrait, I probably will not go hyper-realistic. And can someone tell me what hyperrealism means? Class, what can y'all tell me about what you know is hyper-realistic in a portrait? Anybody? I really haven't talked that much about it, but I just felt as though you might have known it from somewhere else. Hyperrealism is when you are painting or drawing a portrait or an object, maybe a still life object, that is so realistic. It is so realistic that it looks just like the photograph. That's what hyperrealism look like. Have you seen those Instagram painters? Some of them, they are painting in a hyperrealistic way. They are painting so realistic that it looks like the photograph. I personally have painted in that style before. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it. The reason I don't like it is because hyperrealistic paintings take a lot of time. And if we are learning in class, we really don't have months and months and months to actually focus on painting a hyper-realistic piece of art. Let's just be honest, okay? So my typical go-to style is in between realism and contemporary. I'll explain that. I like to use bold colors, saturated colors, and I love to show the brush strokes in my paintings. so I don't blend super when I'm painting my picture. And as you notice here, I'm using some variety of brush strokes. I'm going up and down. I'm going in many different angles. Okay, the reason I'm doing that is because I want this painting to be contemporary, showing my brush strokes of the ladies in the lady's face here. I want to really be expressive with her wrinkles around her mouth, the wrinkles in her hand. Now, those will probably be the parts where I'm going to go realistic more, right? Okay, everybody that's listening. That's the parts I'm going to go realism. But let's just say other parts of her face, even maybe her glasses, I might pull out some bolder colors there. So I'm loving my turquoise here. It's a little mixture of the dark turquoise with the bright turquoise. And it's not too bright and it's not too dark. Okay? What I can do is I'm, of course, going to save more of my light turquoise, because as I'm painting my portrait, I'll be mixing skin tone with my turquoise. Isn't that fun, right? Because we are doing the mood of the color choice that we pick. So everybody that's choosing their backlight color, in all paint, you are going to be mixing that color, your backlight color, with skin tone color to accomplish the mood of the light shining on the person. Now, some of you, per instructions on our Google Classroom notes, you chose to take your own photo. And I'm hoping that you did choose that. Now, right here, and let me see if you can see. Let me move this portrait over, this picture. Okay, right here, you can see my can light. I am going to bring my color changeable bulb when I start painting this portrait, and I'm going to put it on turquoise. So as I'm painting, I'm seeing the color of the backlight that I'm using shining on my portrait. Okay, if you are taking the photos at home and you got your subject, your person, you need to put your light in that light bulb, change it to the color that you're choosing, and then put that person where you want them to be. All lights off in the room, right? Except for that one light source, that one colored light. And then you're going to take several photos of that person posing. And then you will have your colored backlight photo to paint, okay? And if you want to do what I'm doing as well, as you're painting your portrait, leave that light on with the color that you chose from your photo. Make sure you print your photo references. You can also use an iPad to look at. You don't always have to print out your photo references, especially if you have a big enough iPad where you can see good details, okay? And then what you're painting is going to shine that color. And it's all about integrating our backlight color with our what? Skin tone. Okay? So now let's spend the rest of our time here really saturating, getting some oils thinner on top of this paint so that it properly soaks through. The more paint thinner liquid that you use, the more the paint is going to soak through this here cardboard. And what you're going to look at when it's done, guys, is you're going to see this chalky look on this cardboard. This paint is not going to look all nice and smooth and glossy. It's going to have a chalky look. And that's the look we want to have. How many of you have used chalk pastels before in class? Allison, have you used chalk pastels? You haven't? Sophia, have you used chalk pastels? You have? And you notice how chalky the texture is, right? It's real flaky. And even if you just use regular chalk before on a chalkboard, you know how it has that dusty, chalky effect. Well, that's what it's going to look like on our cardboard. It might not feel like chalk, but it's definitely going to look like chalk. Okay? So this is part one of today's assignment. You may take a photo of this part to add to your Google Classroom file of photos, okay? And let's give this about 15 minutes to 20. And you can work on sketching this here on paper so that you can get the proportions down at this point. Most of us in painting class know how to draw because we took a drawing class, right? And this is our painting class. So you can sketch it out real roughly and then we'll draw it. Don't do a refined sketch. Don't go real detail on your paper sketch, guys. Unless you have a projector and you want to do a real refined sketch and then project it on your cardboard, and that's if you have one. If not, just do a rough sketch. We'll let this dry and then we'll draw on our cardboard. I will probably have to use a white pastel pencil for my drawing. I don't think I'm going to be able to see the pencil lines here. Or I just might draw with my paintbrush using, let's see, I might use a color that I know I can see on this surface. What that's going to be, I don't know yet. I'll figure it out, okay? So today, what am I expecting to see? Expectations. I'm expecting to see your cardboard painted with your back mood light color, all right? And I'm expecting to see either your thumbnail sketches before you drew it on here, or if you don't want to do the thumbnails, you don't have to. You can just start sketching on here when it's dry and submit that. The backdrop color submitted and any drawing parts for this painting submitted. When you come back on Friday, we will literally begin painting. No, we will be sketching on cardboard. Oh, okay. I am so sorry, you guys. Let's rewind because at the bottom I want to stick to what I said. Next class meet we'll sketch on this. So today you can sketch, just do a thumbnail and submit it, okay? And then on Tuesday of next week is when we'll start painting our portrait, okay? So it's correct on the board. I am so sorry. I got ahead of myself because I got excited. All right, I will. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to personally email a couple of you some notes and some details that I need you to know for next Tuesday's class when we start to paint this. Have an awesome day.